In this video, I want to talk to you about 5 things that I've realized after 150 hours of therapy as an expat living abroad. But before that, let me give you some context and share why I needed therapy in the first place. I moved abroad in my early 20s, and that kicked off the tough journey that I did not see coming. I didn't know how to self-regulate. I did not have the healthy coping skills. I got cut out from the support system that I had back home. And all that was really hard on me. At some point, very intuitively, I came to a conclusion that I needed help, but I had no clue what to do and where to start. I thought that I did not have any real problems, and if I were to do therapy or coaching, I would just waste people's time, because there are people who do really need help, and I was just not one of them. Later I learned that it's actually quite common for people to think this way. But somehow I had senses to still go for it and get help. Since then, I've completed more than 150 hours of therapy, and I want to share my learnings with you. I'm sure that they will help you build your life abroad, or actually wherever you are. Well, here I don't want to confuse anyone that it's possible to fully let go of needing to be liked by everyone. In the end of the day, it's an evolution code, because communities used to help us survive. I do still want you to watch this video and be like, wow, this is so cool and I really like her and what she's saying is so profound. So I'm not gonna lie, I still want it. But what changed for me is that I became more aware of it, and I don't let it stop me from being myself. I think YouTube is a good example. After 3 years of being on YouTube, I've realized that no matter what I say, there are always going to be people who hear something else. So now, before I even start scripting my video, I remind myself that people not gonna like it regardless. If I'm gonna script my video thinking about that, okay, I'm just gonna play it safe and not say this and not say that, because I think this way people are gonna like me, there are gonna be still people who will hate on me for the way my hair look or something I could not even foresee. And this way I'm gonna create this box for myself where people who are gonna like me and who are gonna like what I say are not even the people who I want to attract. So this is not where I want to be. This is like a very depressing place in life. So instead, I choose to share my core and share my truth. That's why I'm making this video, and I've just published a video about my view on Russia, because I'm Russian. You can watch it somewhere here. And yes, there are people who did not like it, but the people who did like what I said are my core fans. You know, these are the people who I can connect and relate with so much that if we met in real life, we would be friends. I understand that 99% of you who are watching this don't have a YouTube channel, but I hope you see how you can translate this logic to other areas of life. You're not going to be liked by everyone, that's a given, and that's something you don't have control over. But what you do have control over is what you say and how you behave, because that's going to influence the type of people you're going to attract, be it your YouTube fans, friends, or your partner. I grew up in an environment where the concept of boundaries was not present at all. If people did not want to do something, their way of setting boundaries would be either to lie about it or to do it nevertheless. It's a very peculiar and kind of limiting way of living, because a person has to constantly suppress their feelings and almost feel inadequate for having those feelings. And they expect another person to do the same way. If at some point another person starts being more honest and vocalizing their wants, desires, and feelings by saying, you know, I don't feel like doing it at the moment, they label them selfish. There is very little honesty and authenticity in this dynamic, because these two people, they actually don't know each other. And I do wonder how well they even know themselves. So I grew up in an environment like this, and when I became an adult, I did not know why I would have this crippling sensation when someone would ask me to do something and I would not want to do it. But I would also not know how to handle this situation and why I felt this sensation. Then I moved to the Netherlands, and this is where the real transformation happened, because I was faced with a more direct society. The Dutch are refreshingly honest when it comes to this. They just go, you know, I don't want to do it, let's do it another day, or you know what, I don't really like rom-com. Let's pick a sci-fi movie instead. And that to me at first was shocking and even kind of rude. But then I started coaching and therapy and it all started to slowly make sense. I started feeling more and more this line between being selfish and between being my own person. And this line is going to be different for everyone, but for me it boils down to from which place I am communicating my boundaries. It might sound a bit tricky, so I'll just give you an example. Let's say my friends ask me to hang out this weekend, and I already have some commitments and plans for this weekend. Yes, I can squeeze them in, but because I'm a little bit introverted, I need more time to recharge. So if I were to honor my boundaries, I would give my friends context, I would explain them what's important for me, and I would reassure them that I hear them and I want to hang out. And when I'm being selfish, I would just say no without giving them any consideration. So through this dynamic, it helps me get to know myself better and it helps my friends get to know me better. And only on this ground we can build an honest, genuine relationship. I was and still sometimes am doubting myself. Doubting myself is not only about if I am able to achieve what I set my mind to, but it's about doubting if my perception of events is correct. This is what expats typically face because when we move countries, our whole reality shakes, and in these moments, it's really challenging to rely on ourselves and on our perception of events. So we start questioning, is what I'm feeling right now is true? Do I have right to feel this way? I don't fully feel comfortable in this relationship, but is it true? Is it correct? I know it might sound ridiculous, but a lot of people go through that. Therapy and coaching helped me realize my power and helped me realize that my feelings and my interpretations of reality are actually the only things I can trust and rely on. I work as a coach and I have a lot of people come to me asking me what they should do. The truth is, I don't know, and no one does except for you. I know it feels like, oof, I so want another person to tell me. I so want to have the right or the wrong answer. I so want this, I don't know, just to put this responsibility on someone else. But the truth is, no one knows answers for your life better than you. And our job as a coach or therapist is to create a safe space for you and help you unpack and access those answers. Let me give you an example. Let's say I have a partner who kissed another girl and I want to discuss it with my friend and ask their opinion or their advice. And they go like, you know, Tanya, just sounds rubbish what you're saying. I would not even worry about it as much. Like, she kissed another girl and so what? If you were to listen to your friend and go with their approach and pretend that it's all normal, you would feel this like, this tension inside that something is off because you're going against yourself. And that's a really tricky place in life to be because you're creating life for yourself that is not yours and that you don't even want. Again, this is not about right or wrong answers. It might work for your friend, and for your friend, this path might feel aligned and authentic, but for you it would feel like something is not right. And I suggest you listen to this voice because this voice, your feelings and your interpretations of reality are the only things you can trust. If you're still doubting or feel like you need more support, go on my Instagram and text me in my DMs the word power, and I will send you a document that will guide you to recognize your power and trust yourself. Most people struggle to identify what they really feel. Let's do a quick test. How are you feeling now? Well, most of the people would respond good or bad. Some people would start telling me about their day, like, today, I went to do groceries and then work. And very few people would actually name their feelings, saying something like, you know, I'm feeling scared and frightened, but also relieved. Let's talk about why it's important. Number one is self-awareness. It's simple. When I know what I'm feeling, I can respond to my needs faster. It helps me avoid a burnout or a crisis point because I'm not constantly running on empty, wondering what's wrong. Number 2 is reduced anxiety. Anxiety is a messy knot of all different experiences and feelings, and we're just sitting and we're like, it's just something is off, but I can't pinpoint it. I'm just so anxious. Anxiety kicks in when we don't know what we are feeling. In coaching with my clients, I tackle anxiety by looking at this messy knot and untangling it by identifying and naming each feeling. Number 3 is improved communication. Knowing what I'm feeling helps me explain it to others and teach them what I need in this moment. I've learned that I cannot expect from others to meet my needs if I even don't know what they are. Lesson number 5. Getting angry has such a poor reputation because it's viewed as something bad. It's viewed as throwing objects, not behaving as yourself, yelling, and just, being that crazy person. But it actually has so much potential. Well, I don't mean like throwing objects and all that has a lot of potential, but I mean feeling angry has a lot of power. I'll give you an example. We've all been in situations where another person treated us poorly. And if you're someone who is not as connected to your anger, it might take you a while, if ever, to realize that something in this relationship was off. I remember that someone, like a friend of mine who used to be my friend, treated me really poorly, and it took me like a week to realize that something bad happened there. And then I felt this anger. So it means that my anger is my protection mechanism that signals me that, hey, something is very wrong going on here. And then I can take action, I can stand up for myself. And that doesn't necessarily mean that another person is going to change their behavior. But even if they don't, I still have the power to protect myself by leaving the situation and by distancing myself from that person. And that all thanks to our anger. I can imagine that a lot of you watching this thinking, so how to find a good therapist or coach? I tried a few different therapists and coaches before I found the one I clicked with. And I think this click is so important. If you don't have this click, you might be constantly questioning your therapist, thinking if they're genuine, if they're authentic, if what they're doing makes sense, if you can trust them, and etc. And this all is going to impede your progress. What often happens is the Murphy's Law, right? We click with someone and that someone is way above our budget. So what to do then? I think we really need to change our mindset. Imagine you go for a therapist or coach that charges 100 euros per session and you did not have any click with this therapist. What's going to likely happen is that you're going to need like 20 sessions with them. Well, first you're going to pay 2,000 euros. Second, you're going to pay with your time. In those 20 sessions, well, I don't know how long it will take you, let's say a year, so it's a year of your life. You've spent all this time and money, but your problem is not yet fully solved, and you still need to think about, okay, what should I do next? That's a really tough place to be. Versus when you go to a therapist you clicked with, you might need just 10 sessions with them. Not that you will be completely healed and all set, but first you will genuinely enjoy this time because you genuinely like the person. And second, even if you still think that you need some extra therapy or some extra coaching or extra whatever, this chapter will be closed and you will just move on. You will continue making progress, but not on this level anymore, but on a level higher. Your therapy or coaching is successful when you see real life results. Others start noticing your growth, and not like you poke them, be like, hey, do you notice? But more that they come to you and say, oh wow, you became so much more peaceful and it's so cool to be around you now. And even most importantly is that you yourself start feeling the difference. You feel less tension and more ease in life. Of course, things take time. You can't expect to visit one therapy session or one coaching session and be like, okay, results, where are you? But if you don't see any positive trend after a few sessions, change your therapist or coach. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. If you reached this point of the video, it means that we are likely on the same page. So I suggest you drop me a quick note on my Instagram, sharing your thoughts and insights that you got from this video. I'm really curious. And if you like this video, you will likely enjoy these two videos next. So I'll see you either on my Instagram or in these two videos. Bye for now.